Doug Gottlieb said that I was going to retire and you were going to replace me. That's sinful. Sinful. You have no freaking idea what you're talking about. This is a guy that said that couldn't put his damn pants on the right way when he was playing at Oklahoma State. Kansas crowd would break shorts on backwards. And Doug, I like Doug. But there's no, that's not journalism. Don't make up crap.
Am I imagining things, or does Gottlieb have his shorts on backwards?
I think he's got them on backwards, and the crowd has noticed it, Ron. Changed in the huddle. There.
Douglas Mitchell Gottlieb, born January 15, 1976. If you're anything like me, when you hear the name Doug Gottlieb, immediately what first comes to mind is the basketball analyst and sports commentator / radio host known for his scalding hot takes with a funny voice, respectfully, because funny voices can go a long way in broadcasting. Just ask Nick Wright or Chris Broussard. But if I told you he was once a basketball star and one of the greatest assist men ever in college, would that be too hard to believe? After being prompted to do a little research on his basketball story by my guy Doc Smith on Instagram, it hit me that his career was a lot more interesting than you may think. Many people give journalists and opinionated talking heads a lot of flack and disrespect for the roles they play in the creation of a player's narrative, usually when it's negative, I might add, with the preconceived notion that they somehow don't know basketball because they haven't done it at a level like the NBA. But in the case of Doug Gottlieb, it shows that couldn't be further from the truth, and in any case for that matter, both beliefs can be true. But for Doug, his should be led with a little more respect because when he did touch the floor, his IQ showed his basketball knowledge was off the charts. To lead the nation in assists and be second the next year, it has to be. Especially coming off sitting out an entire year at some junior college in a player-coach role, then right into the fire in a conference like the Big 12 and doing what he did, that's impressive and surprising for a person that never knew Doug had it like that. In fact, it's my belief that had his Notre Dame scandal in his freshman year not happened, we'd refer to him as former NBA player Doug Gottlieb and probably be known as one of the best assist men on that level as well. Instead, he'll have to settle for what we know him as today, which is not bad. He's in and out at ESPN and Fox Sports daily and is one of the more well-known analysts in the game today that got to finish school with a marketing degree, and let's not forget, he's the owner of one of the most embarrassing college basketball moments in history that people like Roy Williams still give him flack for to this day. Pants on Backwards, the motivational speaking tour by Doug Gottlieb, coming soon. Until then, we'll have to settle for the stunted growth story of what happened to Doug Gottlieb, one of college basketball's assist greats. Why didn't he play in the NBA? Let's talk about it. It's your boy JC Stunted Growth. Let's get it, man. Take a minute to like, subscribe, and comment on who I should do next. Doug Gottlieb was a 6'1" point guard born in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, later moving to Orange, California, that was a high school basketball star at Tutzon High School and recruited by big-name schools like UCLA, Michigan State, Florida, UConn, and Notre Dame. After visiting Notre Dame and seeing the passion the fans had for their team, he decided to sign and immediately became their starting point guard. He led the team in assists, steals, and minutes played and had a nice first year in college, although feeling homesick and shell-shocked all year by the vast difference Notre Dame was from California. While enjoying his summer, he got a phone call that would change his life and alter the course of his basketball career forever. Stunt number 1, I was a thief, period. Words from Doug Gottlieb's self-written basketball and life biography done for The Athletic, where he at some point refers to what he believed he once was. I wouldn't necessarily go that far because a lot of things he was found to have done as a 20-year-old college kid happens all the time in those close environments to one another without the watchful eyes of parents or the knowledge of how to protect yourself from being a victim of someone like a 19-20-year-old Doug Gottlieb. Of course, I'm referring to an incident that happened during his freshman year at Notre Dame right before he left to go back home for the summer. He was writing a paper on some kid's computer and looking for a calculator in the drawer below it and saw a credit card. He closed the drawer and plotted a way to take it without being caught. By the time the paper was done, Doug and the credit card left together like the lights cut on in a Vegas nightclub. He went to the mall the next day and bought the new Scottie Pippens, you know, the ones with the air on the sides that still today are one of the sweetest sneakers ever designed. He returned the credit card to the drawer, and that began a LiAngelo Ball, hot hand Mickey spree of card theft by Gottlieb, including one he took and bought some Hilfiger shirts, cause you know, young Jewish guys need to be fleet, know what I mean? Not done yet, he saw another credit card he thought matched his pockets well, took that and bought a bracelet that he said matched his Hilfiger drip, and finished it off with lifting a gas card another student had, left unattended and in need of Doug's caring hands. In total, he stole close to $1,000. In the end, Doug packed his bags and headed home for the summer, thinking things were sweet. He gets a call from his coach that he was being accused of these crimes and eventually pled guilty to the misdemeanor and was fined $2,500 along with $5,000 in court and lawyer fees. He ended up having to transfer from Notre Dame, and that incident, I think, took a lot from his NBA chances. No, it wasn't that bad to where it was the sole reason, but it stained his career and caused him to have to transfer and lose a year due to sitting out for the flame to cool. Stunt number 2, creatine arms, apparently. Secondly, I think Doug Gottlieb didn't receive an NBA chance because he could not shoot the ball to save his life. A lack of skill that he later blamed on taking too much creatine at one point to put on weight to physically compete in college. After leaving Notre Dame and sitting out a year at a junior college at his former high school coach's new school, Doug transferred to his dad's friends program, Oklahoma State, and became a record-breaking player for the Cowboys, even taking them to the Elite Eight. But as you know, shooting is a huge deal when it comes to being a guard that's trying to make it to the league. To say Doug Gottlieb was a bad shooter is like saying Nick Claxton's free throw performance in the playoffs this year wasn't really that bad. No, Doug was horrible at shooting. Not just one year, every season he shot poorly from all levels on the floor. From 3, he's never shot at least 30%, and even had a year he shot 18% from distance. From the foul line, get this, he shot a worse percentage than Shaq for his career. In fact, he didn't have a single season where he shot the ball better from free throw than a guy that's notoriously known for his inability to make foul line shots. I guess Hacker Doug didn't have the same ring to it. Maybe it was because he lifted too much weights, but I ain't never heard fitness make a guy shoot this poorly. It only added to stunt number 1 in reasons he never got that NBA shot, no pun. Stunt number 3, a dime a dozen. Yes, Doug Gottlieb dropped his fair share of dimes in college, leading the nation as a junior in assists with a career-high 8.8 and finished second as a senior to a guy named Mark Dickel in 2000 at 8.6, breaking all Oklahoma State's assist records in just 3 seasons. Yet, he did nothing else on the floor to make him an appealing prospect outside of his specialty, when there were at least a handful of guys in college that year that averaged at least 8 assists and could do more. At least more than shoot in the 40s from the free throw line and at least 30% from 3. The NBA finds players every year that specialize in doing one thing, and sometimes they take guys like that to fill a specific need on a team. But that's rarely the case, especially in the mid to late 90s. If at least he was a reliable shooter along with his assist specialty, I think he may have had a chance. He didn't. Neither did he rebound, wasn't the biggest, fastest, or most athletic, and he was still a huge turnover guy that increased every year in college. All in all, a combination of these reasons is why I think Doug Gottlieb eventually went undrafted and had to resort to playing overseas at places like the USBL, CBA, and ABA before diving into a great broadcasting career, in my opinion. I listen to his opinions from time to time and appreciate his journey in life in general, owning up to his past and making a great life for himself and family. Salute, much respect, it's your boy JC Stunted Growth, and I'm out.